Hello, my lovelies. Well, here we are again. This time I'm going to do a movie decode. I had a download when I went to bed the other night and I couldn't sleep because I found it so interesting. And it follows on from my previous video about the Uranus cycle. And it's a movie called The Final Countdown, which was made in 1980. And it starred Kirk Douglas, James Ferrantino, and Catherine Ross. And it's set aboard the USS Nimitz, which is an aircraft carrier, aircraft Uranus, and how this ship goes through a freak electrical storm. So freak, surprise, Uranus, electrical storm, Uranus. And just before the ship left port in Honolulu, Hawaii, Martin Sheen was a civilian observer and he was about to board the ship. And just before that, a big limousine showed up and his boss was in it. And the guy got out, a guy got out of the car and said, "Oh, Mr. Tideman has come to see you off." So Martin Sheen says, "Oh, well, can I meet him?" And the guy says, "No, he's just come to see you off." So Martin Sheen goes aboard the ship. And Kirk Douglas plays the captain. So this is 1980, right? So the ship sets off on manoeuvres in the Pacific Ocean. And some of the aircraft from the aircraft carrier are out on reconnaissance flights. And suddenly this huge electrical storm shows up, which is like a blue spinning vortex, which completely engulfs them. And they all have their hands to their ears with this high-pitched noise in agony. And they try to get the aeroplanes back onto the ship before this storm takes over completely, which they managed to do. And then they come out of this electrical storm and the sea is calm and everything looks fine. But to their surprise, they discover that they've actually gone back in time, Uranus, to December the 6th, 1941, which is the day before the attack on Pearl Harbor by the Japanese. So all sorts of things occur, and they send out these reconnaissance planes yet again, and one of which can take photographs. And when the photos are developed, it shows Pearl Harbor, December the 6th, 1941, prior to the bombardment. And there happens to be on board the ship, played by James Ferrantino, his character is very interested in the history of navies, etc. And he's writing a manuscript, and on his desk he has a load of photographs from 1941 on December the 7th, which show the ships having been attacked. So he's thrown into a quandary as to, well, how can we be taking photographs in 1980 and they're exactly the same as in 1941? So the energy of this movie, which, by the by, was produced by Kirk Douglas's son, who was called Peter Vincent Douglas, and he was only 25 at the time, which I thought was very interesting. And lots of lovely little twists and turns in it, so I won't spoil the ending. You really should go and see it. I watched it again yesterday. It's very, very cleverly put together, very cleverly written. And there's a dog in it, which is good. And he ends up being 40 years old, so I won't spoil how that comes about. But looking at this Uranus cycle and what I said in my previous video about the movie 1941, which I forgot to say was actually 41 years later was made. So it's about 1941 and it was made 41 years later. And how these things, cycles repeat themselves. So Hawaii has been in the news last year in 2024 with the fires in Maui. And now there are fires in Los Angeles. And so this is Mars going retrograde into Cancer, the sign of Cancer. So we know that Mars is to do with war. It's also to do with fires. And Cancer is to do with the home. So lots of homes going up in flames. And metaphorically speaking, there's a lot of things which are being purged. And fire is one of the things that does purge. It also purifies. So we'll see how things unfold with regard to that. So why this movie popped into my head, I thought, well, I'm on this roll of things with regard to the Uranus cycle. And it seems so apt and appropriate that it is exactly mirroring what Uranus does. So things coming as a surprise out of the blue. It's aircraft carrier. And if you like war movies and you like things to do with aircraft, there's a very, very long sequences in the movie of modern day, well, in 1980, naval aircraft chasing down Japanese Mitsubishi single propeller aeroplanes and having a little bit of a dogfight. And yes, lovely little twists and turns in it. And as I said, I won't spoil it because it's a jolly good watch. It's a jolly good romp. And you come out of it thinking, oh, okay, things could have been changed because it's about time travel. And the ship does return to 1980, but with an awful lot of things gone on in between. Now, there's another movie which I want to have a look at. I've seen quite a few times, which was made in, I think, 1983, and it's called The Philadelphia Experiment. And that was also set round about the same period, 1943. So if any of you have not come across this, and it actually happened, so it was scientists were trying to make shipping invisible to the enemy. So they came up with an electrical, again, Uranus, machine, which emanated certain vibrations. And when it reached a certain vibration, the ship could vanish. So I'll leave you hanging on that one because that's what I want to look at for the next video. So take a look at it, the final countdown. And I thought it was interesting, the name of it, because we've got so many things going on the planet. It is a final countdown to how things can change dramatically for us, for the better, and not buying into any of that fear factor stuff or the scaremongering. So there you are, another little snippet. I'll see you again soon. Lots of love. Bye.